Chun's Go Crypto Investing, bell notification, like the channel to get that education and information. And most importantly, that mindset and dedication, drive, and game plan and knowledge that's out there for everybody to find as long as you have the patience and the will and the understanding of the information to make the educated plays in the investment and asset acquiring game. The rigged game, it may be rigged, and absolutely, it's rigged. But you can beat a rigged game. You just have to understand the rules. You must understand the game, most importantly, and you must understand how to play the game within the rigged rules and use, most importantly, remember this, and use, damn it, the rigged rules to your benefit, just as so many people in the country do. And then they happen to be the very wealthy because they understand the rules and they understand how to apply the rules, the rigged rules, to their advantage. And that's what we're here to teach you. All you simply have to do for free. The best online cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, gold and silver bullion on education and asset allocation and acquiring online and on YouTube for free. Old Vincenzo right here, bell notification, comment down below and like. And share if possible. And that's all you require out of you on this station, right? And the SEC just denied ARK 21 share Bitcoin ETF for the second time, right? And they're never going to let that go. They're not going to give them an ETF. And that was just more charlatan, the classic charlatan on fleece heister and shyster out there that you need to be watching out for is the ones, the Bitcoin ETF is going to be the next catalyst. They're never going to give you the spot ETF. They're not going to give it to you. It's not going to happen. And you need to get an understanding that it's not going to happen. Just like it was never going to become the world's reserve currency. The Bitcoin or the XRP or this crypto or that crypto are going to become the world's reserve currency. No, those people right there that I'm talking about, that was another classic snake oil salesman's tactic. It's a world digital currency, it's digital gold, right? GBTC, digital gold. Now GBTC is trading at a 60% discount and no one's buying it. It's down better than, 90% from its high. And it's at I think it's a 55% discount, GBTC, to the spot price of Bitcoin. And you would think everybody would be loading up on that. But they're not, because they might be going bankrupt, right? GBTC was heavily involved with some of these big crypto companies that have went down recently, right? Just a bunch of charlatan nonsense. But you can see from the last time we talked, we're still in this consolidation, just like we were about, a month ago. After a nice pump, we had a nice consolidation, and then we had another breakout, right? Or a couple of weeks ago, early January, we had a big pump, then we consolidated, then we had another big pump, relatively big pump, right? Because everything's been down. So any kind of pump to the upside is a relatively big pump. But you can see big pump, consolidation, right? Big pump. I mean, exactly the same consolidation, right? So now what we got to see is, can we get back above at 24,000 and start to use it as support, and then we could try to pump to the upside farther, just like we have up here, and then maybe try to come up into that 29,823 and change range, right? Or are we going to get rejected and take the green track and come down to the 19,049.69 at the top part of the blue trading zone, and then maybe make a pump back to the upside, right, and try to break out bullish, or maybe break down further to the bearish side. That's absolutely a possibility and something we're watching for in the Bitcoin price. And then what I'd be watching in the immediate short term is the moving average. If you break the 200-day, notice how you got very close. Notice how you got very close right there. If you break that 200-day, you would have a pretty big fall all the way down to the downside, and that's how you take the green track. If you're trying to get some support and maybe take the blue track, you got to stay above these moving averages And then somewhere along the line, as this continues to snake out, because the volume's going to come back in, if it comes back in, you got to hop to the upside, get on top of that overhead blue line at 24,200 change, hold that support, and then continue to kick to the upside. And that's how you would remain bullish on this consolidation. But if the volume comes back in and you slip the 200-day and you start using it as overhead resistance, right, and then it trades to the downside, it'd be very bearish. But as long as you can hold the 19,000, you can remain in a short-term bull trend, right? Same thing with XRP. It's sitting up here, and it's actually formed a mini head and shoulders in the hour time frame, but you can see it right here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You're using the 200-day as the neckline, right? It held it here, and then we had another pump. But if you break, because you did dip below the 200-day there, but now you're back on top of it, but the short-term moving average was starting to cross and trend downward, and if the 50 crosses to the downside from above it to below it, that would start to tell you maybe there's some bearish action coming right here. And if you slip back below this 200-day, obviously you're going to come back to that 37 cents. Our track says you should be coming down here relatively soon. If we go out to the 4-hour, you can see the track is underneath there in the background, and it's coming up to its apex. And if you break back down, a likely area that you would come down to would be 37 cents, and then if you break the 37 cents, you'd continue to the downside between that 32 and 29 cents, as that's the VP volume indicator or VIX profile range, to where if you break that, you're going to remain very bearish. If you broke down that 29 cents and got below the VP volume indicator, and that would signify a massive capitulation would be nearing, and then everything would start to be taking much, much bigger flushes to the downside, and instead of having the 29 cents as your floor, 28, 29 cents would be a major overhead resistance and a ceiling for a pretty long time, right? So that's what we're going to watch out for there. And as you do know, I think my overall next several years in XRP are going to be marked by mostly downside action. And even on the next pump, I don't believe you're ever going to make an all-time high. I think the next bull run, and this is the key, and this is the information that only old Vincenzo will spill to you, by the dilution of 1 billion coins a month. I believe there's 100 billion in total that they're going to eventually release into the circulation. And on my last couple of videos, I've given you the hidden truth and the hidden knowledge about cryptocurrencies and the ICOs and the coins they're created and who actually gets rich, why they actually get rich, and how they actually get rich at expense and at the financial losses to the retail trader, and usually to the people that are watching these heisters, shysters, and fleecers, and overters and subverters that are pushing and being paid to fleece, heist, and shyst and manipulate you and throw the garbage at you and sell you stuff on coins that there aren't really anything like cost, like the cost token. Promoting that on my exchange that it gets released, but the cost stuff. I was paid by cost. A lot to cost the tokens before they came up for sale, and then anytime somebody bought the first cost the token in the retail industry, it was coming out of my cost, the holding, and therefore I banked. And then the coin went down 95% after the initial hype was done from the hype train that was going on by the costs, the fleecers, and that's what really goes on with all these ICOs. They pay people to promote them, and then they dump them on you, and you're left holding a giant bag while they walk away with all your fucking money, right? But I believe the XRP price is going to be in a long bear trend, long bear market, very long. This is more than just a collapse. This is a bear market. Bear markets last a long time, and this bear market is going to last a long time. But all these tokens that are being created and released, by the time we get into the next bull market, in 2024, maybe as early as that, if we bottom out in mid-2023, like I think we are, by the time you get max hype cycle, just like how long it took for this current hype cycle when it finally happened, you couldn't breach the old all-time high because there were literally, I don't know, 30, 40 billion more XRP in circulation than there was if we looked at the way we're off machine, right? Wake up, everybody. It's Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing. Back here, there were literally tens of billions of more coins than there were back here when we hit this big hype cycle. after this long, massive consolidation. And as you're starting to understand and maybe starting to learn if you're paying attention, and for your sake, I hope you are paying attention, right? By the time this bull market happened, there were so many more coins in circulation, and when each coin is added, it's like printing another dollar. It makes all the existing dollars in circulation less valuable and can buy less stuff, and you need more dollars to buy the same thing. It's the same thing with the cryptocurrency. When they put more XRP coins, and then you have a bull market 3 to 4 years later after the last bull market, and then you start to pump, all those extra coins acts as dilution, and now to move the price to the same spot it was when you needed one buyer, now you need four buyers, right? Because each person's ownership of the existing XRP, if they've been holding it, just like they've been trying to tell you don't hold cash because it loses value. If you had 10,000 XRP 8 years ago, just by the float that there is now with XRP, how many more coins there are, you've lost and you've been debased, and your XRP have lost a bunch of purchasing power because there's so many more of them out there, and that's why you need to have more and more of them to buy the same gallon of milk. If you had 10,000 XRP in 2018, you could have bought whatever a gallon of milk for $3, right, when it was that. Now you need 100,000 XRP to buy that same gallon of milk because they've diluted it by adding so many more coins. And that's the hidden secret that nobody pays attention to. And that's what I really feel like is going to happen in another 12 to 18 months after we come out of this multi-year bear market, because we're already well over a year into it, right? A year and a half into it in some cases. By the time we get to the next bull market over here somewhere, there's going to be 20, 30, 40 billion more coins than there were in this one, 80 more billion coins than there were in the first bull market, and the price isn't going to be able to go as high because the value of the XRP have been debased and devalued just as the US dollar is, because they put more XRP into existence a month than they do United States dollars. At least that's the way it seems, and it works the same way. Like, subscribe, and share for more information, philanthropy, and knowledge on how to acquire, what assets to acquire, where to acquire them, when to acquire them, and why to acquire them, and how to allocate that portfolio and to manage your money and do it in a smart, financially responsible way to continually multiply your net worth by dividends and the assets that you have, and continuing to reinvest in acquiring more assets, while at the same time cut out the nonsense and the bullshit spending of the shit you really don't need. And we're going to turn this around, and we're going to figure it all out together as we continue on our journey into the crypto bear market.